Hi, thanks for coming. I'm Catherine, and today we're going to talk about breath. We'll talk a little bit and we'll practice. So sit comfortably, make sure your feet are grounded, and then take a moment and just notice your posture. In other words, how are you holding your spine? If you tend to round back, just bring your hand to your sternum, and as if your hand could just pull your sternum straight up. Great. And also, if you're noticing instead of rounding that you're really stiff in your back body, right? There's a lot of tension back there. Again, bring your hand to your sternum and just gently soften it back a bit and see if that helps. All right, so from here we will begin. Let's start by getting an understanding of the process, the pattern, so to speak, of breath. It's all familiar to us. We're doing it all the time. So we know that when we inflate, when our lungs inflate, that's called an inhale. Everything expands, and that's exactly what you want to feel in your body, a bit of a lifting up and expansion. And when we exhale, we let the breath out of our lungs and everything softens back in. So let's start just from there, okay? So hand to your heart or your sternum, hand to your abdomen, just above your belly button. I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes. Feel free to do whatever you wish. Eyes open, eyes closed. The important thing is start to turn your attention in to you, into your breath. Just forget that anyone else is around you if they are, and this is your practice, okay? So let's do it. Take a breath in, just as you normally would. Nothing fancy, no interference. And just feel what you feel. And then notice your next exhale. Keep doing that. Breathing in, just notice what that feels like, where you feel the breath. And when you exhale, just notice what happens. One more time. Great. So as I mentioned earlier, what we want to happen, ideally anyway, right, is that there's that fullness or filling up on the inhale and a softening on the exhale. But that doesn't always happen, right? We somehow interfere with our breath without even knowing it much of the time. So one of the main things that interferes with our breath is muscular tension, right? That makes sense, right? If we're holding something tight, it's hard for that thing, whatever that is, a balloon or a tube or something like that, to expand. So same thing with our bodies. So again, let's start by this time, same thing here, and then breathe in. Relax your abdomen as best as you can. That's where your hand is here. And on purpose now, as you exhale, squeeze your abdomen in a little bit. Just squeeze it in. And then relax it. And notice that. An inhale happens when you relax it. And when you squeeze it in, the breath naturally is drawn outward. Try that a few more times, okay? So we'll start by just taking a natural breath in. And then on purpose now, so we're going to interfere. Exhale by squeezing your abdomen in, and then just letting that tension go. And that's your inhale. Do that 2 more times, okay? So just an easy inhale. Squeeze in on your exhale, and then just relax it, and that's your next inhale. 1 more time. Squeeze in for exhale, and then just relax. Okay, now, here's the thing. So we're going to do that again. But instead of purposely squeezing our abdomen in with these abdominal muscles, we want that same feeling, but not coming from the action of squeezing the abdominal muscles in. Hope that makes sense. All right, so we'll just take an easy inhale, and then just go maybe 5% of squeezing the abdominal muscles in, so it's gentle. And then inhale, let your abdomen kind of puff out a little bit. And as you exhale, just that little bit, maybe even less than 5%, but feel that drawing outward of the breath. 1 more time. Breathing in, just easy. Let your abdomen expand a little bit. And then as you exhale, just a gentle contraction right there. Real light, real easy. All right. If you're having trouble with that, no problem. We're going to do a few things. We're going to do a few stretches to help ease up this area. So many of us get tight here, right? If we're rushed or impatient or something like that, we tend to tighten through the middle of our body. And unfortunately, sometimes that tension just walks with us throughout the whole day, which means it's interfering with our breath a bit. So we want to start to notice that habit, if that is our habit, and then do something about it. All right, so let's do a few stretches that help open up this area all around the lower ribs, all where our diaphragm is. I'm going to show this series of movements from a seated position. We're going to do the whole series 2 times. And you can do it either seated or standing, whatever you prefer. So I'm going to do it once seated, and then that second round I'm going to stand up. All right, so again, feet grounded. Great. And then place one hand on the side of your chair, and you can mirror me. So my left hand's on the chair. You can bring your right hand down. And then lift. It's kind of like you're shrugging your opposite rib cage up. Shrugging it up. But notice too that it's very natural for your shoulder to shrug, right? So see if you can keep the rib shrugging, but relax the shoulder a bit more. Great. Now take this very same set of ribs and push it out to the side just a little bit. This is all done very, very gently. Notice that I'm talking while I'm doing this, which means that I'm not trying too hard. There's no strain here. So nice and easy. Take an extra big inhale. And then as you exhale, release and come on down. Pause for a moment. You may even feel different, from the side you stretch to the other side. So let's go ahead and stretch the other side. So hand on your chair, and the reason why your hand is there is so that you're not lean like that. Okay, so you want to stay upright, and then what we're looking to do is to bend our spine sideways. So same thing, this arm is draped down, and you shrug your ribcage up, and most likely, if you're anything like me, you're also shrugging your shoulder up a little bit too, so just loosen that part of it. Keep the shrug of your ribs. You can turn your neck and head sideways if you'd like. And just notice your breathing here. You don't have to breathe fancy or do anything other than how you normally breathe, but be aware of it. And that's what this is about. We're becoming more and more aware of how we breathe. Take an extra big inhale, and then exhale. Release and come on down. Great. Okay. Next movement, we're going to bring our arms forward, and this is so that we stretch along the back of our ribs, right through here, okay? So arms are gonna come forward. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see this. Arms forward, and then push your sternum back, deep into your back, to that space between your shoulder blades. So you don't want your lower back rounding like that. You keep your lower back pretty upright and round your upper back, your mid to upper back. Breathe into it, a few breaths, nice and easy. You can tuck your chin in if that's comfortable for you. Again, notice if there's any excess shrugging up here. Aim for the center of your shoulder blades. And then slowly release. Come back to center. Good, and pause for a moment. Now we're gonna go the opposite direction. Okay, so arms out, and you can have quite a bit of bend in your elbows. So start to draw the tips of your front shoulders backward, so you feel as though your shoulder blades are coming a little closer together, and your sternum, exaggerate that a little bit, kind of push your sternum forward without straining, especially through your neck, right? You want to feel your neck nice and loose, nice and easy. And again, are you straining in your breath? Because if you're straining in your body, it's going to show up in your breath. Back to that idea of muscular tension. Take a full inhale, and then exhale, release, and relax. And just notice how that felt, right? Those 4 movements. All right, we got 2 more for our spinal column. So we're aiming all around here. All right, so again, you're mirroring me. So your right arm is coming forward, right? Like you're pointing it straight ahead. And then you're gonna take your opposite arm and pull it back, kind of like a bow and arrow. See that action right there? And in order to get this arm, right, in order to pull that string back, you have to rotate your ribs a bit. Let that happen, right? Can you see that happening? That rotation of your ribs, just like that. And then once you've turned your ribs sideways, then just let your arms drape down and relax into it. So your spine is upright, but you're rotating. Great. And then you do whatever you wish with your neck. You can keep it in line with your chest. You can play around and turn it over your front shoulder or your back shoulder. And take a few breaths here. Hands are relaxed. So we're squeezing right through here, right around where our diaphragm is. So stretching here and a little bit of contraction right through that side. Take a full breath in, everybody. And then let it out. Ease out of it. Come right out of it. Nice. All right. Ready? Other side. So we're going to start out again like this bow action. So you point straight ahead. Then with this arm, as if you're grabbing that string, pulling back and rotating your ribs. I'll drop my arm so you can see it. Right? The ribs are rotating. You're pulling back. And then you just let your shoulders and your arms drape downward. Good. Long spine. Feet are still grounded. Relax through your shoulders. There's no tension here. Good. And then you decide where you'd like to position your neck and your head. And take a few easy breaths here. No strain. Just get curious. Get used to paying attention to your breath. Last breath in. And then exhale. Release and relax. Good job. All right. Let's go right up here, right? So this is the very top of our spine, and even though it's like long distance from our diaphragm, you know, as you know, your diaphragm is your breathing muscle, tension up here can really influence what happens down here, okay? So bring your first two fingers to your jaw hinge. That's just in front of your ears on each side. And just put a little bit of pressure there, and you might even lower your, not lower, but wiggle your lower jaw a little bit. Keep it relaxed, put a little pressure in there. Oh, right, and then relax your hands in your lap. And then keeping your gaze like straight across, right, on the horizon, just tilt your head to one side. Try not to lean, and try not to let your shoulder follow your head. Shoulders stay as level as possible. And you don't even have to go very far. Like I start to feel that right away. Good, that tells me something, right? I'm holding tension on that side of my neck. I gotta pay attention. Good, big breath in, everyone, and then up. Just pause, relax, just nice and slow. Let's do the other side. So straight over to the other side. Again, try not to lean, try not to move anywhere else. We're isolating this portion of the spinal column. Take breath in and come on up. Beautiful. So we did a lot of good things for our spinal column. We moved in a lot of different directions. So let's check in with our breath again, okay? And then we'll do that same sequence, either seated again or possibly standing. So hand to heart, hand to abdomen. If you'd like to close your eyes, I always recommend it because it just helps to focus inward a bit more. I'm going to be quiet. I'll try to be quiet. Just listen to your breath. Any change? Did it feel easier, right, to kind of track that expansive quality of your inhale and that gentle softening on your exhale? Because it helps if we, you know, since we did that series of movements, we moved out some of that tension that might have been sitting in this area. All right, so again, same thing. Stay seated if you want to, or stand if you prefer. Okay, so just like as we did from the standing position, right, feet grounded. For those of us who are standing now, a little bit of bend in the knees is helpful, right? So we want our knees, our legs rather, straight but not locked out, right? So there's like a micro bend, a little bit of softness in the joints. Great, and then we're going to start by shrugging up one side of your rib cage. The other arm just drapes down. Possibly, this is an option, you don't have to do it, right? But if you wish to, hand could go here, then you can start to point your elbow up, and that's going to lift this area up a little bit more. Notice how that feels. And for those of you who are standing, make sure you have that little bend in your knees so you protect your lower back. And you can even do this too, to kind of secure your lower back a bit more. You might want to turn your neck away from the stretch. And let's get quiet, listen in to breathing. And slowly come on up and release. All right, other side, soft knees, maybe hand here. If you're on the chair, you can secure your hand to the chair. Maybe hand here or keep it draped down. Lots of choices, all right? You pick the ones that are best for you. Lifting up, turn your neck and head to the side. Get a lot of lift with your ribs. And then without shrugging at your shoulder, just point your elbow up and see if that gives a little bit more lift to your ribs. Focusing on your breath, in and out of your nose, okay? In and out of your nose. Try to keep your lips just gently parted. And then slowly release and relax. Great. All right. Hands together. So remember the bow and arrow, or at least the bow part, right? So arm forward, and then this arm is going to pull back. So ribs turn. So for those of you who are standing, a little bit of turn in your hips isn't a bad idea, okay? And with your legs as well. But aim for twisting right at your rib cage, and then simply relax your arms wherever you wish to position your head or neck. I'm going to choose a different position than I did that first round. So I'm going to turn over the front shoulder. Breathe into it. Feel your breath, because this isn't so much about doing these movements for the sake of the movements. It's about doing the movements to feel and experience our breath differently, and to help the mechanics of our breathing by helping the tension release. Big breath in, everyone, and then release out. Well done. Let's do the other side. Up here, soft knees if you're standing. Start to pull back, rotate your ribs, relax your arms, shoulders are released, position your neck however you wish to. Now focus your attention in. Feel free to even close your eyes so you can listen to your breath. Such a beautiful sound, that inner sound of breath. And then release. Okay, great. This time, I'm going to bring hands forward, and I'll go sideways again. So we want to keep our lower back fairly straight. It'll move a little bit, but we're not trying to curl it like that, okay? We're aiming from the mid-back up and getting some rounding back there to stretch out the back of our lungs and the back of the diaphragm. Okay, so arms come together like so. A little bit of bend in your elbows, and then front of your sternum, sink your sternum deep into your back so you feel your shoulder blades open up a bit. You can curl your chin in if you'd like. Stretch your shoulder blades away from each other. Keep breathing so you're not holding your breath. Feel that stretch, and most importantly, feel your breath in the back of your lungs. And come on up and release. All right, and then just the opposite. I'm going to bring arms out, and now the shoulder blades are going to squeeze together a little bit. You can even take your thumbs, right, and kind of turn them like that, right? So back and a little bit downward. And you'll notice that'll pick up the very corners right here of your chest and of your lungs. All right, so got that going on. We're squeezing back here. And then for a little bit more emphasis, push your sternum forward just a little bit without straining through your neck or your jaw or your eyes. All right, take a breath or two here. Feel into it. Easy does it. And release. Good job. All right, so we did 2 rounds, easy movements to help loosen up. Now let's just put our breath together with a simple pattern of movement, right? So the movement is simple. We're going to bring our arms up on an inhale, down on an exhale, out on the inhale, down on the exhale. Okay? Breathing in through your nose, exhale through your nose. Inhale, exhale. Breathing in and out. Now, you go. I'm going to talk over this. I want you to find your pace. If I'm going too fast, follow your breath pattern. If I'm going too slow, pick it up a little bit. Most importantly, be true to your breath, right? So when your inhale ends, that's when your arms start coming back down with your exhale. Again, if you'd like to, close your eyes so you're not distracted by my movements or anything else. So it's sort of like flying, like there's this lightness lifting you up, and then a soft and easy landing. Keep it going. Keep that little bit of bend in your knees. Okay, we got 3 more complete rounds. Your pace. Last round. And then bring it down wherever you are. Just finish up. Let your shoulders rest, your arms drape down. Hand to heart, hand to abdomen. Let your body open, release, gently expand. And then softly contract and draw back in. And this is your natural breath. It may take some time, some practice, some attention, like paying attention to your breath to really feel it. But you're capable of it. Your body's designed to breathe just like that. Helps to lower your heart rate, keeps stress down. Lots of reasons to do it, to tend to your breath. Thank you for your presence. I hope to see you soon.